So for week 10 we're now going to have a look at how we take the curves that we imported last week and turn them into polygons. So the aim for this lesson is how we create some polygons from nothing using the Draw Polygon tool, how we make sure that we've got some precision with some snapping tools, and how we make sure that they're facing the right way, and then continuing on using some of the tools that we already know, like extrude. A new tool that we're going to have a look at as well is the fill polygon tool, which is just a nice way of tidying up any open polygons so that we can finish off the ceiling. I've opened up the scene, so I have the scene from what we had last week, and as you can see the curves are inside. We have a component curve on the outside, and we also have our 1 meter square curve as well. So we're already set to go. I'm going to take the curve that's the 1 meter curve tool, this one, and I'm going to move the curve out. So I'm just going to unlock all this stuff, and just going to move this out. So this one is connected to the whole thing. Let's make sure this is inside here. This is the one we actually want, and we're just going to modify this with a center pivot point and just slide this out. It's not part of the scene. Okay, now there is an open hole on this curve, so let's just go in and have a look at what this looks like. So the open curve, this one, just going to Shift P to extract them from that group, so I can delete this group and we can then better grab these curves. So there we go. Remember, these curves were part of this reference layer, so we're going to have to add them back in. So I'm just going to drag that back in, so I can't select it again, but this one I can. Okay, so we're going to go to the mesh tools in here, and we're going to use the create polygon tool. So this tool is useful because it allows us to place polygons down on a plane and then press enter, and we have a polygon built, ready to go. Now this is where we need to change our shading method. So currently our shading method is set to smooth shade all, and I'm going to turn my shading method on so that it uses a backface culling option, and this will allow me to see which side my polygon is facing. So as you can see, if I turn this over, you can see that the face is on this side. Now if I redraw a polygon, so I'll go back to the tool I used, I'm going to draw it in the opposite direction. Okay, now you'll see that that polygon has the face pointing the opposite way. So when we use the create polygon tool, I always try to make sure I know which way it's going to go before I start my main polygon, and then I can continue on knowing that it's going the right way. So I'm going to use snapping, and the snapping I'm going to use is the point snap tool, because this is a curve that's made up of points, and I'm going to turn on, using the middle mouse button, I'm going to turn on the points. If I go to make sure this is all on, I'm going to turn on edit points. So you see the edit points are where the ends are. So with this tool selected, I can now snap very quickly down the points, and I don't even have to be very close to them. I can go quite quick, and there we are. Press enter, the face pointing the right way. So you can see where the face is pointing the right way, the face, no face. Okay, so that's that bit done. We're going to turn off this, and I'm now going to unhide or hide my curve lines. This has just now got my polygon. Next, I want to, if we go back to our web page, you can see that what we've got next. We've done the back face. We're going to have a look at the polygon. We're going to cut up the polygon. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through and have a look at this and I've purposely made mine some interesting shapes. We're going to have a look where we can make the best choices for cutting up this polygon. So this is an n-gon now. It has many edges. One of the tips we should start looking at now is probably looking at the display tools on the heads-up display, and we're looking at polygon count. So in the polygon count you can see that we're looking at an object that has 15 edges. So instead of 4 or 3 it has 15. So we need to cut these up. So we have some options. We have the multi-cut tool, which is in 2016, or you can use the shift option, and in this we can look where these cuts are. So you see we've got the multi-cut tool here. Now we can go in and start to cut, and this is going to interactively cut between these, so we can decide that we could maybe create a cut between here and here. That would be a cool place to cut. So I click this one and press enter, and that's given me a cut. We could look at this one and this one, so that's cool. Maybe we need to then look at this one and this one, so that one's pretty cool as well. We're left with one awkward one, which is this one. They're always awkward, and these two as well. These are open, so I'm going to cut those together, and I'm going to cut that together as well. So I've created a triangle just there. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this needs to be cut across here. And the last one I'm going to cut. I always try and cut to a corner. It just makes it a little simpler for me. And then I'm going to come out of that tool with the arrow and go back to object mode. There we go. Now this is a good time to turn on the wireframe on the wireframe on shaded. So we're going to use this one, and that way when we're deselected, turn the grid off so we can't see the grid, you can see where the cuts are. So I've now got 13 triangles. I've got 8 faces in here, and I'm ready to begin the next phase of this, which is using the extrude edge tool. So I'm going to choose the edges I want to extrude, and I'm going to just double click on this edge, and you can see it's going to select the outside edge, which is the shell of that shape. It's not selected anything in the middle, and I'm going to go to the extrude tool, and I could get this by going on to just undo that. Let's go back to edge mode. There you go. I could do this by going in and holding down the control button, sorry, the shift button in there, and we have the extrude edge tool, and we've got the extrude up, and then we're going to look at the thickness. So I could slide the thickness. You can see that this is going to slide the thickness up, and this looks like it's sliding in centimeters. So if I want to make this 3 meters, I'm going to have to slide this up to 300. Okay, remember this is why we always have this meter square to give us a reference guide. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I think that's what I want. So I've now got a 3 meter high wall. Maybe I'll make this 4 meters. So I'll just put 400 in there. There you go. That's a nice high wall. And all the rest has been done for me. So all the faces are pointing the right way. In here, so press enter, finish this off, deselect. I've now got my inside of my room quite happily extruded, very neat. This is an important part of the step. In the channel box, when I select this object, make sure we only have one extruded edge in here, and if we wanted to make it bigger we could change the thickness down at the bottom. If you have multiple extrudes in here, it means that you've tried it and it's not extruded properly. Okay, so this is quite important that you make sure you get that clean in there. Okay, so the last thing that we want to do then is just have a look at making a ceiling, and again we're probably going to have to go over this a little bit. So the ceiling at the moment is open, so I'm just going to right mouse click and select the edge, and double click on that edge again, so I've got this full edge. And then holding down shift, what we have is the fill a hole option. We can get that to that in a couple of other ways as well. I'm just going to press fill hole, and you should see that the edge has been filled, and this is where I can now go in, select that face, select it from behind if I want, and I can go in and use the multi-cut tool again, and we can begin to cut that whole shape up if I want. So this one, actually I don't want that one, I want to go from this one to this one. So I'm just copying what I've got underneath. So I made a bit of an error there. Just go to that one. It's not working. Let's make this one. I'm getting an angle cut on that, so that's not working for me at the moment. So let's try going on the inside. That's better. So let's go from this one to this one, and let's get this one in the right place. That one's in the right place. Place here. Getting some odd lines coming in now. Let's just try and fix this. There's one. Let's go to this bottom corner. There's two. And one. This top one, two. I think I've just seen an error actually down here. Let's have a look at this. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's an extra one. So we need to just fix that one. And do the same on the bottom. So there we go. So now I've got a complete box, and on my drawing that I've been looking into, this is what we're looking at. So I need to extend this up a little bit, so I think this is going up to 7 meters, so I need to add a couple of meters on top, and I'll do that with an extrude. And obviously the thickness on this one is actually going to go the opposite way, so it's going to be a minus. And we're already 4 meters high, so 300. And then we're done. So what I've actually created is a very large space here. But all the cuts and everything have been done. Everything looks as it should do, and I've got the start of my level. So my white box is pretty much complete. I can now give this a test run. I've got an extrude edge, and I've got an extrude face. So I've got all my stuff in there. Everything looks quite clean, and this is a poly surface. So I'm going to rename this quickly. So I'm just going to call this collision. Do it the other way actually. Got this white box, and then double CL. Collision, and we'll save this scene out now. So we'll save scene as, and this is going to be version 2. There we go.